Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing an in-depth look at my latest project, a robot guy wearing a winter coat. First, I'm just going to say that my channel is fairly new and I'm posting a video once every week now, and I intend to keep that up. So if you like my content, consider subscribing. Thanks. So I had this idea and vision in my head of this robot with a fur coat. I thought it would look kind of cool, but I didn't have any specific designs. So with this project I started sculpting, not really intending to use the sculpt to anything itself, but it works more like a sketching process for me. Without much of any specific plans, I just sculpted, did some retopology of some parts, sculpted some more and some more retopology, until I was satisfied with that specific part. Like for example the jaw here. Then I just moved on to the next part, Sometimes I use the solidify modifier, sometimes I extrude to give it thickness. Since this was kind of just a come up with stuff as you go type project, you're seeing a lot of redoing here. Like this chin part turned out kind of ugly, so I had to change it up a bit. After that process had been repeated till I'm happy with the head, I'm moving on to the neck. I'm just gonna let that play out. It turned out fairly simple with just normal hard surface modeling techniques. So moving over to texturing and materials, I used PBRs from ccotextures.com, and I'm using the same process I use in actually most of my projects that require a texture that looks more accustomed to the specific shape than just slapping a pre-done PBR onto the mesh. And that process is that I use the principled BSDF shader. I plug in the PBRs of the main texture. For example, in this case, the black metal in the jaw part here. Then I'm adding another principled BSDF, adding another PBR. The diffuse and the metalness and the roughness and the normal map. For example, a rust material. And then I plug the two together with a mix shader node, and to the factor of the mixed shader node just add an image texture and just paint where I want it to be rust, and that's a very useful technique for me, and that's basically my process for all of the materials here. Moving on to the jacket, I just tried to block out the general shape and later add the solidifying modifier and the subdivision surface modifier. I think the jacket is what I maybe could have worked on some more in this one, but I just feel like when I've worked a long time on one project, I need to go on to another one, so I just tried to finish it up, and it got a little bit more sloppy towards the end, but I guess that a lot of people are just like that. And I also applied the subdivision surface modifier a little bit too early, and I didn't want to start over, so I just tried to fix that here, as you can see. And then comes one of the most fun parts, in my opinion, the fur. I actually used quite a simple process here. I separated an edge loop along the hood, converted it to a curve, gave it some geometry, converted it back to the mesh, and added the particle system for hair, and I groomed it fairly simple. And on this one I added clumping. Then I made a new hair system that's without clumping, so I get those nice clumped fur overlays as well as those furry soft looking hair that the non-clumped system will create. and the material is also fairly simple: a hair shader mixed with a diffuse and a color ramp with the color gradient of the individual hair that is in the end plugged into the intercept in the hair info node. I also tried adding some snow style particles in the hair. To do this, I tried to use geometry nodes, which I am fairly new to. To do this, I will need the hair as an actual mesh, so I duplicated the hair emitter, deleted one of the hair systems, converted the hair to the lines, converted the lines to curves, gave it some geometry, and converted it back to a mesh. And then I made a sample snowflake, which I instanced in the geometry nodes using the most simple setup, as you can see here. And I guess that was pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate feedback on my project and questions, so feel free to drop a comment below, and I see you guys next week. Bye.